Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the podcast. We have a tremendous show today. A couple of my great friends, Dionne Malush and Mike Hanlon from Realty ONE Group, Gold Standard. Thanks for joining us. It's great to have you guys on the show.
It's so awesome to be here. Thank you for having us.
And Dionne is obviously a return customer. She's one of our first shows. I think you were like the third or fourth that we really did. Back in the day. Now it's been well over a year, so it's been quite a journey. We're great to have you back, and I've been trying. When we first did her, I wanted to have you on the show at the same time, but she probably didn't even tell you. She wanted all that.
I don't recall you.
It's just like
I definitely didn't tell him. I just wanted to have the limelight to myself.
Well, again, guys, thanks for being here. I've been interested. I've been following what you guys have been doing with the business, and I kind of wanted to get into the background of how you guys came together and work, because you came from very different backgrounds and different places. But at the end of the day, you've come together and you guys just really click. You really, really do. You can see that your relationship is special from a professional standpoint. You don't get this very often, right? And when I came to your I think it was a sales meeting and spoke to your team, I was watching the dynamic in the room. There were probably around half of your group was there, a little over 100 agents. And while you guys were up in the front and you were speaking, your team gets it. And they get you guys. And that's critically important, because I don't care what business you're in, if your team understands your leadership style and what you're all about, you're going to succeed. You're really going to succeed. So give us just a little bit of background on how you guys came together.
I think one thing that you just said before we do that is seeing someone from the outside looking in. So we don't always see it the way that you are, right? We don't always look at it like that. Sometimes we look at our dynamic and we don't always see the other side of it. And so thank you for sharing that, because that means a lot to us.
That is a great point. Like I said, we're constantly striving for perfection and getting better and better and better. And we think just like this is a mess, that's a mess. But to the outside is, things aren't functioning good.
Exactly.
But that's just our mentality of striving for improvement.
Well, and that's the perception of everything, right? Your perception, how you see the world, how you see each other and yourself, is very individual. But I was very impressed with the whole room, the way you guys handled it. But your team responds to you. They really do.
That's awesome to hear. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
So start off with how do we get here?
So I've been in real estate since 2004. I started thinking about ownership with the Northwood office in Bell Vernon. So I went there, and then a top agent in the South Hills asked if I wanted to join with her to team up and take over her business. And she actually did that to invite me to be an agent at their office. So it really wasn't the way it was supposed to work, right?
Okay.
So she went, I thought that's what was going to happen. Didn't happen. In the middle of it, I met Mike, and here the same thing happened to him. She had invited him into the company to join with her to maybe take over her business.
Same place.
Yeah, same place, same person. Yeah, it was very interesting. But the end result is neither of us did it, and we met each other, and then Mike can tell a little bit about the rest of that story.
Yeah, she's exactly right. So I was at the brokerage first, and I was approached to actually ownership in that brokerage. Flew down to the franchise systems, training with the ownership group, and because I was promised to take over this individual's team and become partners, and just it wasn't very long. A few months in, I realized it was never going to manifest.
Wasn't going to happen.
Yep.
Right,
so,
sure.
And I had to realize that there really just wasn't an opportunity to buy into this brokerage, because within 2 years, I was the second top producer. We haven't recruited anybody, and we weren't growing. It was just stale. So I started pursuing other brokerage opportunities and franchise models, and then they brought Dionne in. And I remember actually the exact conversation when one of the owners come to me and said, "Hey, did you hear that this Dionne agent's coming? She's supposed to be this great marketer, and she's going to take this team over now." And I said, "Oh, that's I wish her luck, because I know the route I went through."
It's exact same
path.
So I had my own little private office in the office, and she would be in. We just introduce and say hi, and then we actually went out to Vegas to the company's kind of annual event, and got to know each other better. And then over time, she eventually I get a knock on the door, and she'd come in and
Can we talk?
And like, this is what's going on. And like I said, sounds familiar. And I said, this was going to happen next, probably. And it followed the same guidelines.
It was unbelievable. But we're so thankful that it happened, right? Because if it hadn't happened,
everything for a reason, right?
We wouldn't be here today. So we're very grateful to that individual for that. Because
it would be a Realty ONE Group. It wasn't for that, you know. But you know, I let her basically go through it. I didn't you know, fast tracked in and say, well, this was going to happen. You need to run. I just, because, you know, you got to make your own and see, because I wanted her to, I knew what was going to happen. And
I was so excited. I remember when I went home and told my family, I'm like,
that was a huge opportunity.
I'm going to take, you know, I'm going to, in 5 years, I'm going to buy her out. And you have this awesome opportunity to take over this top agent's business. It was so exciting. I was like, mesmerized by the whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah. But
then one day I came across Realty ONE Group, the franchise model, made the phone calls, talked to different individuals, and I actually went out to Lancaster and met with them, because that's where our regional director and ownership is, in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So I went out there and met with them. We're just blown away, and they come back and I said, hey, Dionne, you want to open up brokerage? And she's like, no. She's like,
I had no desire. I was moving. Like, I was traveling down south, and I was going to move. I was ready. Like, Jason and I took a drive, and we're thinking we're going to go to this little town like Beaufort or Beaufort, South Carolina. One of them. There's North Carolina.
I know.
Yeah, so we were finding this little like Hallmark town, and I was going to do something else. Like, I had enough of real estate.
Wow. So it took a couple of weeks, and I said, just you and Jason just come out and just check it out. Look at her. So took him to Lancaster, and I remember the conversation too, because I don't have a long-term memory at all. I mean, I don't remember hardly anything, but certain things, we were getting on the highway, and I don't know if I asked her or she asked me what I thought, and I said, "What did you think?" She goes, I love it. I didn't want to, but she goes, I wanted to hate it, but I don't. You know, and
it was such a disruptor, right? It was the disruptor model. It's so different than anything Pittsburgh had ever seen. So that was the exciting part for me, and the black and gold and the branding. But knowing that we could come in and do something that hadn't been done in 100 years in this area, right? Because real estate's been here for so long.
I know.
And it's the same stuff over and over. So when we popped in with Realty ONE Group and blew up social media, oh my gosh.
And I remember you and I had lunch, and when you first told me about this model, you were so excited. I mean, it was like, no, seriously, you were almost giddy. You were so excited. It was amazing. I mean, and that was early on. You hadn't been doing it for very long.
Yeah, it was very exciting, and it was so fun to put it out on social media. Yeah. We had the big companies coming after us. Don't say this. Mike did this video, and he used initials of one of the company in the video, and they sent us a cease and desist. Don't say that anymore. Really? Like, yeah, they were so.
I reversed the initials, but people got the point.
You know who you are, I guess, if you know, right? And you know what you're doing. So we we just got the biggest kick out of messing with the big guys. You know,
that's
like
funny.
David and Goliath kind of stuff.
Sure. And you guys you've come so far. I mean, it's starting with just the two of you, probably a little over 4 years ago now, and you're at 200 agents.
Yeah. So it's been actually 5 years, and we did have one recruiter that joined with us at the beginning, very first, within the first week of us opening, Stephanie, and it was great having her. So we started out the three of us together, and it was really cool. Like, it was. All of a sudden, all these people had so much interest, and people that we knew and friends, and they're like, I want to do it.
That's how this is supposed to work.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's so awesome when your friends support you and come work with you. You know, because I never look at it like, you know, they work for us. They work with us. They're independent contractors, right? So we just are the umbrella above their business to help them grow.
Yep. That's like Dionne said. Like, every time an agent says, you know, this is my boss, I kind of cringe. Like, we're not bosses. We're partners. I mean we're brokerage owners, but you're your own business. We're not your boss. You know, and I'm not a title guy. You know, even when I was a chiropractor, I never put doctor. Nobody called me doctor. Everybody called me Mike. All my patients say Mike. Nobody. So I'm not a title guy. I cringe every time somebody, this is my boss. That's Dionne's my boss.
Well,
but
and
that's a partnership.
Too. Okay, you know, I don't see chiropractic as being a great training ground for sales or real estate. So tell me how that journey happened. Well, because there's a big investment in becoming a chiropractor.
Yeah. Huge. I'm still paying that off. But, you know, don't get me wrong, I loved it. I loved treating patients. I hated insurance, and I got out of it because I got tired of fighting insurance companies. But
that's understandable.
Truthfully, some of the best salespeople in the world, and I know and friends and colleagues, are chiropractors, because chiropractic is sales. Because it's all delivering a report of findings, and you're selling a care plans. You're you know, and
I never looked at it that way.
It's tough sales, because you know people. The frustrating part is, you know, people will invest more into everything else but their own health. And when things
Absolutely.
break down, they expect a quick fix. But things have been breaking down for ages or years,
Yeah.
and you expect to get fixed up in a couple weeks.
Overnight,
You know,
yeah.
so that
Sure.
is constant sales. You know, because
Right.
you know when pain subsides, they're still not structurally stabilized, and you still got work to do. So you're selling through the whole process. So going into chiropractic, the real estate, and I actually found this. I'm going to post on Facebook today. Because people think, well, why'd you jump in real estate? Was it just easy to jump into? I was like, no, I was always either going to be an architect or a chiropractor. And I found a 3rd grade student of the month
You did?
picture, and it says, what are you going to be when you grow up? And it says architect. So it's not. I mean, I was always fascinated with real estate. So these are my health and real estate have been my 2 passions my whole life. So transitioning from chiropractic to real estate and the sales, it's all people, it's all relationships.
It's a relationship.
So
yes.
and I have actually some friends who are chiropractors now that are getting into real estate that I'm kind of mentoring through the process because I know they can sell, I know they can connect with people. It's just now they just got to learn a different product, basically.
You know what I wanted to be when I was little? A cardiologist.
Is that right?
Yeah, because my grandpa died of a heart attack, and so I wanted to do that. But then when it came time to go to school, I didn't want to leave my parents. So I went to art school because I was a good artist. You know, I went to art school in Pittsburgh because it was close.
Right.
So I was thinking cardiologist versus artist. Like, what was I thinking? But anyways, it turned out pretty good.
Well, most technical people, scientists, engineers, are a lot more artistic than they think they are, and vice versa. Most artists are a lot more technical. When you think of what goes into a painting, okay, that's a technical process. You know, creativity is what the end result, but it's a technical process that goes into that.
Yeah, and
So
the
it makes
graphic
sense.
side of it's very technical, you know.
Right,
And it's
right.
so anyways, I wanted to do that, and I grew up, and then I decided to do this, and then I had a great business, a great graphic design business.
remember,
We did screen
sure.
printing, embroidery. We did everything in house. Like I remember closing the doors, locking the doors, and screen printing. And the heat was so hot because we had these big dryers, and we were in this where our office was, like this basement of this office complex. It was like the lower floor. It was so hot. So we were sweating so bad, like just printing and printing and printing. So we did the physical labor too. We didn't just do the creative stuff. So we had a great run of it. It was so awesome. And then I got into a partnership that I think I told you that before, just destroyed the whole thing. And thank God that I had the ability to pivot, right? To find something that I loved. And using graphic design and real estate, it set me apart from everyone because most people couldn't barely use Word. Right now they have all these things like Canva and stuff to help the real estate agent. But when I started, they had nothing. Like I came out of the gate doing all this cool stuff.
You had a head start, because you were. I mean, you're both really, really talented networkers. First of all, and I think that's a very important skill set as a foundation piece for real estate, any kind of sales, but particularly for real estate. You know, I probably I didn't realize it until I looked at my social media before this doing this show. I don't know why I know I'm connected to so many real estate agents. I have no idea, but I mean, there's literally hundreds.
Well, you should
of them.
talk to some of them. Tell them they should join Realty ONE Group Gold Standard.
Listen, I tried to connect you with Max, but Max likes where he's at. But no, there are a lot of young people doing this, and you know, you've been kind of recruiting me for about 4 years.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
We'll get there.
I mean, take the test, really.
We will. It's, and that's the only thing I have to do. There's no reason not to.
Yeah.
But anyway, but you guys, again, just watching how I'm fascinated by business, especially entrepreneurial business, and what you guys are doing is totally entrepreneurial, right? And how people carry themselves and market themselves. I learned something from everybody, and different types of businesses are different, but what it all boils down to is, Mike said, relationships, you know, and that you guys get that. And is that something that you feel you've just always had, or have you had to work on that relationship piece?
We're still improving, you know, in the relationship side. We first brought Realty ONE Group to Pittsburgh. We was all about the commission. You know, we had the best commission model, and we just hammered just how much more money you're going to make, and we just thought we're going to get bombarded because who doesn't want to make more money?
Exactly. Yeah.
But then we didn't. It took a lot longer looking back. Like, why did it take so long to kind of click? It's that's a piece of it. Right. And a lot of times it's either number 2 or number 3 in somebody's needs
absolutely.
or priority list. That's when we realized it's about the culture, the relationships, the environment, the support, and now we're just trying to have the total package. Have the support, have the culture, have the commission, the training. For our agents, and we do. But our
But
message.
we still don't understand, honestly, why it's not about the money, especially in today's shifting market. You would think if you have the opportunity to sell as many or even a little bit of less. So say you sell 10 homes a year, and this year you're only going to sell 7. You can make as much money selling 7 with us as you did the 10,
with 10
right?
with somebody else.
So
right.
we still have struggles with that because, at the end of the day, money helps you to pay your bills. It helps your kids. It helps your husband. It helps your wife. Money is an important factor in everyone's life. And I understand, people have loyalty. I love my manager and I love my friends at the office. But honestly, I love my family more.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And so that's a problem we've had is not understanding that. So for us, the first, 3 years at least, we just threw up the money on everyone. It's about the money. It's about the money. We sat across people that was over $100,000 different a year.
Wow.
A year.
Doing no more business.
And all they said was, well, I like the vacations my company sends me on. I'm like, well, you can go on vacations with
Go on
your
your own
family, like
vacations.
10 of them.
Around the world.
With your
Over and
family.
over.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you can
Exactly.
rent a private jet. You can do
Yeah.
all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
so it was difficult. And, I think right now we're still learning about personalities and how people react to things. And, you have 9,000 realtors. Why aren't 500? Why aren't 2,000 of them here at Realty ONE Group Gold Standard? Why are they not? I don't.
And if you're selling real estate, if you're jumping into that and you're doing that as a career, that seems to me to be an income focused career, right? Because why go to the trouble, the effort, to get a listing and to market and do all those things? It's not easy. Real estate is definitely not easy. People think you can just slide right into it, sell a bunch of houses, make a bunch of money. Yeah. But why go through that if you're not there to make money? There are other careers where you can say, I'm doing this to make a difference in the world, and I'm making money by making a difference. But real estate to me isn't one of those careers.
That's kind of like we talked about before we got started. The training me and Dionne are going into, and the personality science.
Right.
The bank training is. We're realizing, the entrepreneurial agents get it, and that's who our influx were, because this is an opportunity to make more money. It's my own business, but the different personality types. There's a lot of risk adverse people. They get into real estate having a vision of what it is.
Yeah.
They get ingrained in the brokerage or that model, in the fear. They know deep down I need to make a switch. There's better opportunity out there, but the stress, the fear, it's not so bad here.
Nobody likes change.
They don't like change.
Nobody likes change.
When we meet with those individuals, now we have to lay out, again, how we have onboarded over 200 agents. So we have a system. We can take the stress out of it, and focus on making that a priority than the commission. Sure. Because they're never even going to get to the commission because they're so stressed out about the whole process of even making a move. So we're really learning and super excited about the training we're going through now, and it's changing
and I
our
think,
whole
honestly,
appointment.
Mike and I train so much. We're constantly training every day. And one of a guy that I met years ago in real estate, and he said the secret to his success was training, constant training. And so I look at my life now, and I feel like we're driving home from the beach the other day. I spent at least 6 hours training in the car, right? I was listening to things, and I was actually interacting on Zooms, all of that while Jason was driving. He says, you're the most boring passenger now because you have headphones on and you're talking to people on a screen and you're not even talking to me. So, so I'm passionate about that. And so is Mike, about the more that we can learn, we can teach others to be better, right? So they can be the best that they can be in their career.
Which is the purpose of learning, right? To teach others.
I don't see other ownership groups doing the things that we're doing in the whole city. I don't see it at all. I don't see their social media doing what we're doing. We're constantly promoting our agents.
I don't see anyone on social like you guys.
Yeah,
there's nobody out there, and I use it for business a lot, so I'm on it a lot. I don't see anyone in the industry doing what you guys are doing on social media. Yeah. And I think it's great. I mean,
Thank you.
I hear people comment, particularly young people, on the word culture that you guys use. Listen, that in itself is genius.
Yeah, that was a corporate thing. It's
it
very
really
genius.
Is. It really is. It's genius because, people, especially young people, want to be that. Right?
If you met the owner of the company, Kuba, the guy would blow your mind. He is so compassionate and kind, and he's he had this vision of what Realty ONE Group is today that it just. You have to meet him someday. I hope that you get that opportunity because
that'd be great. I would love
really love him.
I would love that.
He's a very special guy.
Like that,
and he built his company, and we're at over 18,000 agents. They're in 14 countries now. When we started, we were number 104. I think we're at 400 and some franchises.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So, the growth for the company has been huge since we started, so. It's very exciting being a part of this. There are some days that I'm like, oh my gosh, why did I keep driving south, way south, another continent? but I think if you don't have days like that, you're not
Right.
an entrepreneur, right? You have to have
Absolutely.
days that you just wonder what the heck are you doing, but you get back up. You just don't let it last as long, you know.
Just don't live there.
Yeah,
you
you
can
can't
visit
live
it. You
there.
have to visit it because that's how you learn.
Right.
Right. So you have to visit those thoughts and oh, what am I doing?
Yeah.
But just don't pitch a tent and stay there. For
I like that. That's good.
just keep going. But you
I'm
can't
going to use
ignore
that
it.
in our next. Don't pitch a
Don't pitch
tent.
tent.
Like,
Move
stop. Move on.
Yeah, just keep moving. That is fantastic. I just blown away by I think this is amazing success. I really do. You guys, I tip my hat to you, and I talk about you guys and what you're doing a lot. And well, because I have my friend Kristen, reminding me of how cool you guys
Kristen,
are and what you're
she
doing.
loves
like
it.
she's relentless with it, right? It's like, did you take that test yet? Did you take that test yet? Like every time I see her.
Yeah, she's almost been with us since day one,
Yeah.
so she
She's
gets it.
awesome.
Yeah, she
She's
is
awesome. And Colin and my grandkids are really good friends. But so you have some amazing people in your group.
Oh,
I mean, and people that are. And one thing I didn't realize, and you corrected me on this. There's another Realty One. Right in Pittsburgh,
There's
right?
a couple, actually.
There's a couple. So
Yeah.
those are just different it's
ownership groups.
different ownership, but the same corporate company.
Same franchise.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, kind of like I don't know what other franchises do like the real estate one does that actually have a different name.
I can't really. It's kind of like a real estate
Yeah,
thing.
so real
It's-
estate like
Yeah,
Remax
'cause
does
it's-
it. Like you'll see a Remax Access or
Mhm,
Remax
sure.
this, like
Yeah.
different names. I don't know of any other franchises that do
and that's the thing is, we try to convey to the market and the agents in the region,
Mm-hmm.
everything is, yes, there's more than one Realty One Group, but we operate completely differently.
Okay. Yeah.
So
That's what I
we
wanted
have
to
the
get into.
freedom.
How does that?
So we got basically the branding the corporate gives you, but
Okay.
being the 100th office that opened up, we were such an early adapter to the model that Dionne has created pretty much all of the marketing materials and
Yeah.
spread or just graphics and just stuff that no other Realty One in the country has, that our agents have access to, utilize, and different trainings we bring in. 'Cause
Okay.
like I mentioned, we're constantly training.
Yeah,
So
right.
we spend a lot of money out of pocket bringing trainers in and coaches in for our agents. So the name's the same, but really the operations, the staff, the
Totally
support, it's 100% different in every ownership group.
So it's still it's basically your business. It's your
you got
individual
the
business.
freedom
You just
to-
have that.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why that's what really attracted me to the model when I first came across it, is because they give the owners the freedom to mold it the way they see fit to their market,
That's
to
awesome.
their agents. And
That is awesome.
And that's Realty One's one of the biggest propositions to the agent is agent centric. Is like, and we give the agents the freedom to market themselves. It's their
Sure.
business, to go out there and make your own, mark. And we want to brand you,
Yeah.
not the brokerage. We want to put you at the forefront.
Absolutely. And listen, speaking of branding, look at the pin he's got, man.
I
That's
know, I
like,
see that.
that's
That's a
impressive.
nice spin.
That's branding, Nick. You see that? You don't have any Nick Altman production stuff on. Look at you.
Yeah.
You need to. You should be taking notes over there. But Nick and I have talked about what you guys do, and he was very impressed. And when you can impress a young guy like that has that creative skill set and that mindset, he's a creative genius. He's told me that. He told me again this morning.
Oh, he did? Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's a creative genius. So, but when you can impress young people like that has to be good for your business, because I think, to me, that would be the demographic you would want to attract and recruit. People that can invest and create a career. I mean, I think I could be very successful because I've been successful in sales my entire career, but I'm 63 years old, right? So, I mean, hopefully I'll take that test before I'm 70. And,
that would be good, yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's going to be a retirement gig for me, right? So, but I think investing in somebody that's 33 over somebody that's 63. I mean, do you guys consciously think about those types of things? Does that? I mean, I realize you got to be careful with age discrimination and all those different types of things.
I don't really think so. I think there's such a array of from 19 to 75 in our company. So I love that we have that difference in ages.
Right.
It's really helpful, especially for the young person, right? She can go with the older people and learn from them, and the mentoring that she gets from them is unbelievable. In fact, our youngest agent is in Detroit this week with a couple of our other agents and our mortgage company. She's there learning, and she's like, she is just
awesome.
absorbed. She went straight out of high school right to real estate, and it's hard.
That's amazing.
It's not easy doing this business. You don't
No.
know as many people at 19, right, as
Sure.
you do at 50. So they're teaching her everything. She's taking a class next week on negotiation, so she'll have one step forward than above other agents in the area. So
Yeah.
it's awesome to see that, but it's also awesome to have the 75-year-old with all of the, I mean, we have a couple of agents that have been training agents for 30 years and their skill set is beyond belief.
And I think that's the great thing about real estate is it's open to anybody who has a passion for it or wants to get into it or good at sales. I mean, I transitioned careers into real estate, so there's a lot of professionals doing that now. There's a lot of people. I'm not a fan of the word side hustle, because it's not a hustle. I mean, it's a grind. It's work.
Well, this isn't something you can do as a side hustle. It's just not. It's hard.
No, you can do it part time, but if you're open to being mentored and coached and doing the things that are tried and true and being consistent at it, you can be part-time and be successful, and so I have a couple friends that are a state police officer just got licensed who I'm mentoring, who always loved real estate. He has a huge network of people. He's one of the biggest social butterflies I've ever met. And he'll do well at it. I mean, his goal is,
which is counterintuitive for a state trooper.
Yeah.
Right. So, and we do have we have two state troopers in our company
already.
And one of which closed over 111 or 120 deals last year and having a full-time job.
Wow.
So, that's
amazing.
a side grind you to death right there because it's so much work to do that, but we have agents that were nurses that nurses make fantastic agents because they know so many people,
right?
Doctors,
and they know how to deal with people
in totally different ways.
Totally different ways because, you're going to make somebody very happy. You're going to disappoint people. Yeah. You're going to see people along the process of selling or buying a home at their best and their worst.
Right.
They're going to get frustrated. They're going to get angry. They're going to be,
counselors and teachers, like teachers are fantastic. Yeah, they have summers off, right? So they can really focus on the summer and build it up. And then, like, if you sell 1 or 2 homes a year with us at the average sell price we have, you can make anywhere between $5,500 to $10,000 a month, just 1 or 2 homes a month. At the average sell price.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's extra. That's not really a side.
I mean, that's my buddy's, his goal is, he wants to, he's gonna retire from the state police in I think 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And then really jump into a full time. But in the meantime, there's no reason he can't sell a home a month and make an extra $75,000 this year.
That's amazing. And that is amazing.
And that's the difference. What we have to offer is going into some of the other companies. That same amount turns into $3,000 or $3,500 instead of 55 or so. So it's a huge difference. So if I were an agent looking to start my career, this is an amazing opportunity.
It really is. It makes perfect sense. And it makes no sense to go someplace else.
I mean, it really doesn't.
When you're talking, and it's not like you're talking about a few bucks.
No, that's the biggest problem is you're not talking about it. So, we have all the tools. We have all the technology that everyone else has. It's not like we're like, oh, you get more money, but we don't have any tools. There's companies in Pittsburgh that have more money with 0 tools. There's like one of companies that are one of in the world, right? Like say Joe's Realty Company, right? Yeah. Joe and his little tribe, they don't even have technology. But so Joe would really benefit from being part of Realty ONE Group Gold Standard because he could give this to his agents and have them have the tools they need to succeed. Right. Instead, now those agents who think they're getting more money have to buy every single thing that they need.
And none of this, what we're talking about, is in any way minimizing or defamatory to any other real estate because
it's just different.
There's people that are doing that are very successful. It's just a different model.
Yep.
And that's the great thing about just business and society in general is because we have options.
Yeah, and we don't need them all.
Right?
We don't need 9,000 agents, nor do we want them. Right. To be honest with you, we don't want 9,000 agents. Could you imagine? No. Oh my goodness. No, we want to be, that's why you said before makes so much sense. We have amazing human beings at our company.
You do.
They are amazing.
You do.
And if they're not, then they're not at our company anymore. Yeah. It's a very simple equation. We don't want people penetrating our company and not being a good person on the outside, just being coming in and saying, I'm going to give you a hug and, oh yeah, I love you guys. And then going out on the outside and not being good people. It's not good. It's not where we want to grow this company.
It's not good for your culture.
Yeah, for culture.
Right.
And just, in the last, couple months, there's 2 or 3 or 4 agents that we just declined on bringing into our culture. Just after, interviewing, going through a process that we have and just didn't feel it'd be a good fit, so we'd rather be selective and
And maybe it costs us a little, because we're not just taking everybody like some other companies do, but it's okay. If this is our way of doing it.
Think about sports, right? There's a parallel because, you'll see somebody he's Major League Baseball, right? That the guy's having a great career. All of a sudden he's on a different team, and it's because he was a problem in the clubhouse.
I mean,
right?
we saw it in Pittsburgh, right, with
Room.
Antonio Brown. Like, he was one of the best players ever played the sport.
He was at the height of his career.
Oh my God,
but he became a problem.
Yeah.
And you didn't fit the
Do you think that was easy for them to do?
Right.
No, it couldn't be. But they had to do it to protect.
You're exactly right.
Right?
And what it cost them with he and Le'Veon Bell, it probably cost them a championship.
Oh, absolutely. And that's a lot of money and a lot of
team was not only money, but that was probably at that point you could argue that they were the best team in the league.
They were.
And they should have won one, but it fell apart, because of culture.
And that's not what we want to happen here.
Right.
We don't want that to happen in Realty ONE Group Gold Standard. We want to protect it. And it does cost us. But at the end of it all, it'll be the right fit, the right people in the right place. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And what Dionne kind of had an aha moment a while back is she goes, we were on a webinar or something, but somebody said it, instead of recruiting, it's called attraction.
Yeah.
So we want to.
We get that in our industry as well.
We want to attract the right agents.
Right.
Nobody likes recruiting.
Yeah.
Nobody likes.
Someone says, "Hi, I'm the recruiter for Realty ONE Group Gold Standard." Bam.
Yeah.
The military recruits.
Yeah.
So just that mindset shift,
Yes.
And I met with a great agent yesterday, and said, "No, we're looking to attract the right people, and he would be a great fit." And he gets it, and he just a totally different approach. Again, we're learning, about. Again, I cracked his code, so I knew, what how to present to him, and his values, and it was a great meeting. So it is all about the culture. The money is absolutely phenomenal, and
we see it. I mean, when we talk about me wanting to be a cardiologist, there are agents in our company that make more than cardiologists.
Yep.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah,
and there's quite a few of them. So that is a lot of money, a lot of schooling. If you think there's stress in real estate, imagine being a cardiologist.
Yeah. Oh,
we had an agent make over $700,000 last year.
One agent.
Wow, that's amazing.
We had one agent last month had 82 listings in a month.
In a month.
In a month, and that's more than some people have in a year in a career.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they're happy. They're working hard. They're excited. Now the market's shifting, so things are changing a little bit. So we're working on next week. Let's bring out the silver lining in this market. Let's figure out what it's going to take for us to build our company in this current market. So that's the things that we're doing. So if you don't know how to do this, if you're not being trained on the outside like we are, you don't even know how to talk to people.
Sure. And I learned another thing too, for those people out there that are watching, not Antonio Brown, although he does watch this podcast.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Cool. Hey, Antonio. I liked it when you played well and didn't open your mouth.
Until you went crazy.
Yes.
But so at your sales event or meeting that I was at, I found out that somebody that wants to transition into a real estate career but is not ready to leave the career they're in, they can be a referral agent. Okay, I mean, explain how that works, because I never heard of that, didn't know anything about it, and I think that would maybe somebody that's trying to make a mid-career change that needs to just like dip their toe in, they can get that licensed, park their license with a referral broker, right? I mean, you don't rely on me, but I think it's fascinating, and that's something that most people don't know about.
That is an option. Most of the agents who transition or go that route are either, their life has changed. Maybe they're just too busy to actually go out there and show houses. But so a lot of existing agents actually that's the nice thing about real estate is, these agents who have built up a sphere of influence or clients in the past, now that maybe have, grandkids are taken care of, or they're homeschooling or whatever it may be, or whatever lifestyle, has changed. They could hang their license in referral without having the normal cost of keeping your license active with the real estate brokerage. And then if they have any deals, they could refer it to another agent, and they legally can collect a referral commission. Okay. Going into the business, it's going to be tough starting off that way, because getting into
it is an idea, though. I never really thought of it that way.
It is an idea.
If you wanted to make extra money, and you knew a lot of people, you really didn't want to practice real estate. I mean, I don't really think that's
I
terrible.
don't know, but I would think, if you know that many people and you see that
You'd want
you're
to.
passing,
You would wanna do it.
you're going to want to get the 100% of it instead of 25 or 30% of it. So
Exactly.
it might be.
So I think the thing what I was thinking when she explained that to me is that there are so many options in real estate.
I think
there are a lot of things that you can do around this industry to make a living, make money.
That is the exact point to make is, especially with younger individuals coming out of high school, like our young agents. She had her first closing last month, and but I love chiropractic. Don't get me wrong, but I was 6 figures in debt for my student loans. In my second year of second year of real estate, I made more than I ever did in chiropractic, my best year ever. So
really,
I just didn't understand the freedom. It is your own business. You can create whatever you want. You can focus on whatever you want. I just had this vision of, just old ladies, driving around in a big old car,
The gold jacket.
with a
on.
gold jacket. I had no idea the excitement and the different routes
that
you
was
could
real
take.
estate. Century 21 with the
Oh,
gold
yeah.
jacket. That was real
Heck,
estate.
I had a gold jacket when I worked there, and
Did
I got
you?
that. Then I got the award. I love that. I was so proud of that damn gold jacket.
But
But when you
it's
get into
cool.
it's totally a different world. I mean,
Yeah.
you can grow and create, and you can have teams, you can have employees, you can take it to whatever level
Right.
you want to take it to. And I think that's what younger people or even professionals got to understand is it's not this, weird perception of old ladies and yellow
it's
jackets
changing.
driving around.
It's changing.
It's-
And it's all the culture thing that I talked about. The way the average person looks at real estate as a career is changing dramatically these days.
For sure. And I think HGTV is helped a little bit and hurt, right, on both sides.
Yes.
Right? That hurts because they think that this is all they do.
I'm glad you did that, 'cause that's where I wanted to go next.
The local person that has a job that's making, like a minimum wage or more cannot afford $1 million home like they have on there. They'll show someone and they'll be like, oh, they can buy up to $3 million. And people are thinking, how can that possibly be, right? But I mean, I guess it's motivating for some, but it's not easy. Like there is so much stress. In fact, yesterday, one of our agents came in and she was really upset because the closing she had was supposed to close that day. It's not closing now because something happened at the bank. So now they have to wait 3 days. Now the sellers are flipping out. They're mad because why do I have to wait? It's not fair, right? So you go through this emotional, the emotional side of real estate it's crazy. And there's sometimes if that doesn't close by Friday, they may back out and the agent gets paid nothing.
Right.
Right. But then there's a time when the agent takes one buyer out, shows one house, writes the offer,
Sure.
goes under contract and closes in 30 days. And they're like, that was great. It makes up for it. So people that look on the outside, oh, you sold my house and it's closed in one day. Well, how about the 10 other people I showed last year that I never got it
Didn't
closed?
get anything. It was
right.
not-
So
right.
they don't see the other side. And
It's
HGTV doesn't show that side. They always show the glorious side of things. Like reality
absolutely.
TV, right?
It's sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah,
right?
it's always like that. But a career opportunity, oh my gosh, the opportunity is unbelievable. It's
And
unbelievable.
it's always changing, with technology, and that's kind of our focus moving forward. Is we want to be the most technically advanced and forward-thinking brokerage in the market, and be able to bring agents into the industry and get them into production and sit down and whatever their goals may be. Not everybody wants to be a $10 million plus producer. Some people just want to sell 6 houses a year for a little side money to
make
go
some money.
vacation.
Oh, it's a great opportunity for somebody who maybe their spouse is working and they want to retire and they want to just sell 1 or 2 houses a month or even 1 or 2 every 2 or 3 months. It's a great opportunity for that because we don't put the pressure on them. If they don't want to do more than that, that's okay with us.
Yeah.
If they want to do more and they come to us, say, I need some help getting to the next level, well, then that's good with us too. So we're not that brokerage just constantly, how many listings do you have? How many sales? Like we're not beating down the door to do that because we want them to do what's best for them. And so
and everybody's lifestyle is different.
Yeah.
So and you guys again, and I'm not a cheerleader for Realty ONE Gold Standard, believe me, but I see what you guys do, and to me, you do it right.
Thank you.
And I have friends, people that I've grown up with, I've known forever. Okay, mutual friend of ours, Armin Ferrer, right? You cannot not have utmost respect for Armin
I
as a
love
human
him.
being.
He's amazing,
right?
amazing.
And Armin probably wouldn't be a fit in your brokerage, okay, simply because of who he is in his lifestyle and where he's at in his life. But he's legendary in the real estate industry.
Truly is.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So the dynamic of it and the fact that it is so broad brush and it does fit so many different people and so many different lifestyles it's just amazing to me.
But that's what, like, Dionne hit a great point, is like, I've sat across in recruiting appointments where agents be like, you probably don't want me because I only sell 4 houses a year. No, we want everybody that, it has a passion for it, wants to, be part of our culture, wants us to be, part of Realty ONE Gold Standard. It doesn't matter. We're not, like Dionne said, we're not going to say, hey, you sold a house in the last quarter, just pick it up. It's just your business. We're here, and if you want to pick it up, we'll invest all the time, energy. We're going to help you.
Right.
But we're not that one is going to, hassle you but that, it just looking back, these brokerages are doing that because they come in here with this like, oh, you don't want me. You're not. I'm not this, or I'm not that. I'm not that busy. You're not going to pay attention to me. We treat all our agents the same. If an agent calls me or Dionne or Jen, our broker, or Dawn Marie, or any of our staff, they're calling for a reason.
Sure.
They're calling because they have a question. Before we even started here, I was on a call with an agent because she calls and she needs something. They're not calling and say, "Hey, Mike, what are you up to this morning?" There's
a reason.
There's a reason I'm calling. And I don't care if you're 100 deals a year or if you're doing 2 deals in your career. You need support. This is your business. You entrusted us to hang your license, to be there for you when you need us, and we are.
And then on the other note is Jen, our broker, is a real estate attorney. So that has been such an amazing.
She's wonderful. By the way.
My gosh,
she's who I sat with and was telling me all this.
Oh yeah,
she's like
amazing.
Educating me and all this stuff. But she's wonderful.
Yeah, and the agents just love her. Anytime I do a post about Jen or we talk about Jen, they light up with all of these things that Jen has helped them with. And she is amazing. Really, she started with us. We were 6 months in, and she became our broker, and we couldn't be more appreciative or thankful of that fact.
Dionne interviews agents, and I heard yesterday she was talking. She's one of our top producers, and Dionne asked what's the favorite thing about Realty ONE Group, and she goes, "Well, Mike, of course." And then she goes,
"No, she did not."
Then she said,
"No,
I love the fact that Jen is a broker, is a real estate attorney." So it is a very awesome asset we have.
What a great resource to have.
Oh,
I mean, that's awesome. And
she's been
I
in the
don't
real
doubt
estate
that she
industry.
said that.
I mean, seriously, I'm going to play that over and over again, what she said.
Because I watched
so
those interviews. I think they're very cool.
Maybe that was number 2. Maybe Jen was first.
But you were mentioned.
I was mentioned.
I know you were definitely mentioned.
They are fun.
And we did invite you to be on the show the first time.
Really?
Somebody didn't tell me.
I probably told him, but he doesn't pay attention to me at least 50% of the time. He only hears half.
It's funny. I don't know. Somebody said
if he has a phone, forget it.
Jeff Hancher, who
I know Jeff. Jeff very well.
Me and Dionne's been coaching with him on a weekly basis for
almost 3 years.
He's awesome.
He's amazing.
He's going to be on the show. I talked to him last week, and he does a little podcast as well.
He's amazing.
Good guy.
And he mentioned that he was talking to Dionne, and his wife said that Dionne should be a radio host because she has the most soothing voice. I said, it's not so soothing if you listen to it 5 days a week, 8 hours a day.
Okay, everyone, I'm coming out with some good ones here in a few minutes. So
we have fun. And I think when you first started, you mentioned is we do have something special as a partnership. Like, we are totally different people, but we have the same vision. Mm-hmm. We're both visionaries,
right?
And we do mellow each other out and bring clarity and because I'm all go, sometimes she's all go, and if it wasn't for our dynamic, we do make mistakes. I mean, that's
absolutely.
Part of it.
That's part of
being an entrepreneur is risk taking.
And you both are natural entrepreneurs, but you can't succeed if you don't make mistakes.
100%.
I agree. 100%.
That's how you learn to succeed.
But now we learn from. I mean, we do learn from them. But and now we have a COO, which helps us a lot to really think through things instead of just jump. Because we're used to okay, let's do it. And then she's like, what about this? And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. And she does the same. It really is helping. It's not always our favorite thing. Like, why, but
sure.
we need to adjust with the market too. And we need to do things that we're doing. And the training that we're doing has been amazing this year, especially. This year, we're really trying to learn more about people so we understand them better, our own agents especially, how we can help them.
It's about retention.
Absolutely. Once you attract them, you have to keep them.
We got to keep them.
And retaining them and helping them get to 1 or 2 more deals, a year or a month or whatever they want.
Sure.
That's a main goal, is focusing on that. I always had an issue with other companies when they never focused on the agents they had. They always were so worried about the outside, but the agents we have, they're loyal to us. They love us. They would fight for us, they do a lot. And, they're happy. They're really happy here. And that really makes us happy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys, that's what I get from both of you. I mean, that's, if you're not having fun at whatever job you have, you're in the wrong job. Right? I mean, work doesn't have to be drudgery and stress. I mean, it took me a while in the engineering business because I'm not an engineer. I've been in the engineering industry in construction for 40 years, and I'm not an engineer, right? And I found a way from relationships and understanding people, and I wish I would have heard of this the bank strategy like 20 years ago. I'd probably be retired in the Bahamas right now.
Yeah,
but
well, you can retire. I mean, you can learn it now.
no, I'm going to learn it now, Mike.
It's amazing.
Mike and I already talked. Just
Good,
stay,
all right,
stay in
learn
your
it.
lane. We're good.
All right.
You're
I
just
might
trying to
grab
take
it. I'm
over everything.
good.
You get like him.
I mean, me and him get along real fine. Me and
'Cause
him. We're both creative geniuses.
Creative
just
geniuses
so you
that
know.
are in charge of everything, of all things. But that's how I was able to survive is basically understanding how to build relationships and interact with people and understanding people. I built a career on that.
Yep.
And it's amazing what you guys have pulled together. I'm very
Thank you.
impressed.
Thank you for
I appreciate
saying
that. Yeah,
It means a lot.
It is our passion. And we brought the model to Pittsburgh because it does change lives. And we see agents that are, buying houses or moving into communities they never thought they could move into, or that are paying off debts or sending their kids to college, that they didn't think they could ever afford. Now, it's really life changing. And, they're working their butt off. They're out there, they're grinding, they're putting the time in. It's not a guarantee, but if you're open to, that's what me and Dionne, we constantly strive to bring these trainings and have access to us. If you're open to learning and implementing and just being consistent, it's a great opportunity, and we're excited, for. Like Dionne said, the market is shifting, but in every shift, there's opportunity.
Absolutely,
and it's an opportunity for us to pivot and even bring more value to our agents and more accessibility and training to get them through it and then bring different skill sets. This is not when things are easy, there's no need to go out there and learn different skills or try to tap into a new bucket of potential clients. And now when a necessity arises, we want to be able to coach people through that and show them the direction. It's exciting.
Nothing worth doing is ever easy.
Nope.
Right? I mean, if it is, you should be doing something else. Again, it's just like with the fun thing. So, but what I see you guys and what you're doing, what you've brought to the market is a perfect fit for Pittsburgh, right? Because to me, Pittsburgh has to be a great real estate market, okay? Because it's so affordable, right? There's some amazing housing stock here. Some of the older homes and things that are around this region are just phenomenal. And new construction is really cool too. But this, I mean, this is an amazing city. How would you compare? And this might not be a fair question, but how does the Pittsburgh real estate market compare with other cities, like, for example, Cleveland or Cincinnati or anything like that? I mean, do you guys have a handle on that? Is that something that you track?
Not really. I mean, we're totally focused on Pittsburgh. I really don't. I don't know much about you. Yeah.
What I do know is Pittsburgh is just. The transition from the steel town to technology town with Carnegie Mellon and everything, and with Google and Bakery Square, in bringing all the tech in,
which is also bringing in a different type of clientele for you.
100%.
Different type of customer, right?
And you see all the, and really I never really put much value on it before, but you see all these reports, the most livable cities in America, the top 10, and Pittsburgh's 1 or 2, or the most affordable cities. But there was a couple agents over the last year just having conversations with and talking about, hey, where'd you get that buyer from? Or how'd you get that deal? I was like, actually, this person saw that Pittsburgh was the most affordable city to live in the country, and they just started looking online and called me.
Really?
And they moved here because of that report.
Because of that, yeah.
So
that's amazing.
It is, the house values seem to always be stable. We don't have those huge, markets like in Arizona or Las Vegas that go up hundreds of thousands of dollars and then crash down.
And then crash.
We're fortunate to
so it's a safer investment, long term, and affordability and just what the city has to offer. It's I think it's one of the most amazing places that I've ever been to. I still love every day going through the tunnel and seeing the skyline. It excites me. It excites me every single time. I've seen it a million times.
I'm right there with you.
I was talking to one of my neighbors last night. He was telling me that he has a friend that's an agent in LA. His average sell price is $2 million. I said, we have to sell 10 to his 1, right?
Yeah, right.
So, but if that $2 million doesn't close, wow. That's rough, right? At least 9 of the 10 are closing.
Everything goes with you, yeah.
So it must hurt a little bit. But he said to me in the message, he said, when I tell him I bought a $20,000 duplex, he's like, how could that be? I'm like, they paid $20,000 for shoes. They have no idea what a $20,000 place someone can live in.
You get so much more house For here, it's my sister has a house that it was probably a $250,000 house anywhere here in southwestern Pennsylvania. It's $1 million house in California.
Yeah,
where
I'm
she
sure.
lives.
I'm sure.
It's insane. It's absolutely
really
insane.
crazy.
This is really fascinating. How this industry works. I mean, I'm really just curious.
So for me, I want people to understand is what you see is what you get. One of our agents, an agent asked her a couple of months ago, is she really that nice? And she said, she really is. She said, it can't be. It cannot be possible. It has to be fake. And other than Mike, most people think that I am really nice. He's the only one that thinks that. But overall, I truly care about agents, and, what we're building together has been so exciting. We've had some amazing days, and we've had some really crappy ones too. We're just like everyone else. We go through the ups and downs with them, and there's so much opportunity here. And if you want to be a part of something that's this special, I think you should give us a call and find out exactly what we are. Mike has years in a medical industry, which, it's totally different than this, but he is able to, he'll read a book and he can tell me everything about that book. I'll read a book and I'm like, I have no idea what I just read. So I just, because I have so much more stuff in my head because I'm like 15 years older than him. So he's really good at that. And he's really good at conveying the message from the book, so I'm not as good at that as him. He's great at video. I'm not so great, but we have our things that one's better than the other at some, and I'm better at most everything.
I get video. That's the one thing I'm good at.
It's video. Okay.
I had to pay him back. Just saying.
But she's right. She generally cares about all of our agents and will do anything for any of our
tell.
agents, and I will too. That's why we opened. That's why we brought the model here.
Absolutely.
If we weren't passionate about people and agents and changing lives, we would have never brought the brokerage here. We could have been. We're out of production for the most part. We still have clients that want to work with us solely and then reach out to us directly, but we could have invested all of that money into the brokerage and just to our team. But we had the vision of helping people and creating a family and culture around this model that we knew would change lives. And that truly is my call to action is if you have any interest in real estate, talk to us. Learn what it's all about. If you're at another brokerage, meet with us. I'm a knowledge gatherer. And you can only make the best decisions for you if you have all the information out there. So I say to agents all the time is interview every brokerage you can. Talk to everybody, even if you're not ready to make a move. What does it hurt to learn? It
doesn't hurt.
Because things can change overnight.
Should always be open to opportunity.
The brokerage leadership could change. Something could happen. There could be a falling out. And then you're in a position of stress or anger, and you make an uneducated or uninformed decision.
Sure.
And then you regret it. But if you have all the information and you know if this happened or this happened, this is the home for me. This is where I should go. This is this, or even now that this. I didn't realize they did all this because there's a lot of misinformation about us out there. We have heard of all the craziest things that we don't even have lock boxes, that we don't have an escrow account,
bathrooms outside.
It's amazing that we have all these hidden fees. Once you sign up, that's when they hit you with all the fees.
That's when they get you.
Well, who stays if we lie to people? So investigate for yourself. See what the really true how Realty ONE Group Gold Standard functions. See how me and Dionne, how we lead, how our staff cares, how we are there for you, and why we did this.
Right.
And then you can make a decision. Like I said, we love it. We love helping people. I think this is a huge opportunity for people to get into real estate.
Right now.
I think
And we also have a new scholarship program that we're starting. So that's kind of interesting. The scholarship, if you're looking to get into real estate, it's a $149 starter kit fee is kind of what they have. But you get to take the classes at no cost. If you apply and we accept your application, you can have a scholarship at Realty ONE Group Gold Standard. We're the only Realty ONE doing that in Pittsburgh. So I think that's going to be very cool for people to take
because
classes.
The course is not inexpensive.
No,
I mean, it's not going up break the bank.
It's not a college education, but
cheap.
you can make more money than people that have college education.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely
use it that way.
And I think the fact that you guys you've said, I can't tell you how many times just in the hour we've been together, you're doing this to help people.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't look at what you're doing, and I mentioned this when I talked to your group, as selling me something. If I come to you guys, I'm looking for a home. right? I don't want you to sell me a house. I want you to help me find a home.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And that's, to me, fits right in with the culture that you guys are putting out there with your team. And your team gets that. They all understand that. That is very powerful.
I mean, we're hard on ourselves, and
Oh,
it's nice to hear it from the outside perspective,
Yeah.
And truthfully, most people that are looking from the outside in kind of say the same thing. They are excited what we're doing. They're amazed at how far we've come. And
for us, we're like, oh, we need to do this.
Yeah, nothing's fast enough.
No, we need 100 more agents like next week. So it's hard because
with her, they're driving those cars. I mean, listen, I don't know. I don't know how you drive that car.
What car?
Your car, the Corvette. I mean,
Oh.
that thing has to go like 1,000,000 miles an hour. It looks like it's going fast when you parked in the parking lot. I mean, it's like,
fast. I want to get a faster Cadillac next. But even my dad said over the weekend, you do not need any faster cars. You're good. And I'm like, nah, I really want a faster car. But I don't know. I mean, I don't have kids. I just like toys. He has 4 kids.
I know
Imagine
he does.
that.
I saw
kids.
it on social. I mean,
They're so cute.
We didn't get real quick because I didn't get a chance to ask you that. Is that do you have an issue or do you struggle with work-life balance with, you're heavily invested in what you do. You put a lot of time into this. 4 kids. I mean, that takes a bit of time itself.
But
And they're little. Your kids are at that age where
Parker's going to be 12 and on the 19th of this month. The
Okay.
twins, Piper and Presley, just turned 9, and Penelope will be 5 in May. So it's my wife Lindsay. She without her, she's the most supportive for my ambition dreams. She's been along with the ride when I was a chiropractor, and to come home and she's pregnant. I'm like, me and Dionne are starting a brokerage. She's like, what are you talking about?
He don't tell her till like after
it's
we decided.
I signed a paper. We're starting a brokerage.
And she's like, what?
But she rolls with goes with the flow, and she's 100% supportive, and vice versa. She is an entrepreneur at heart. She's a people connector. She's her podcast and how she helps people is just an innate ability to connect with people. She has a skill that she could be the mayor of Canonsburg if she ran for it, because everywhere we go, it's like everybody knows her. Like, how do you know these people? Like, it's amazing. But I owe it all to her with the kids, and the kids love it too. Is Piper, they love real estate, and they want to show houses whenever an opportunity I get. So they get excited that we're in real estate and to see the opportunity to be a business owner, and they're out there selling stuff on the curb. They're out there creating businesses. I just think it's just a great thing to pass on to your kids. Is like, listen,
that entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah, they got it.
What better thing could you give to your kids?
My son, those Prime drinks.
Yeah.
So that's all the rage. These drinks, and he was ordering these cases up, getting us to buy. We thought we were just drinking them. He was taking them to school and selling the Prime for $5 to $6 a bottle.
Wow.
Like he comes back with like $50 one day. I go, what happened? Because I sold 7 Prime for $50. I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
That's
I
a
did
great
not know.
markup. That's awesome. But who has $50? It's like, what 6th grader is bringing $50 to school and buying these drinks, and the morning it calls from parents like, you're
but
they're just again,
that's funny.
That's very cool.
They're in sales already.
That's
cool.
Great. That's great. And you have Jason is working with you,
yeah,
right?
Jason is fantastic. He's been so supportive. He's missed out on a lot of life things, right, to be part of my life.
Right.
Like I'm always doing things and going places, and I try so hard to make things for him, go fishing, go do something you love, because I feel bad because I'm always doing things. But he has been by my side through some pretty rough times, and I mean, he's a good guy.
Yeah,
and he is like, we have a investment, we have real estate investments, and he manages all of those, and it's getting to be a lot, for him, and I feel bad, but I know one thing is he's the right person for me, and we spent the weekend with my parents. He helped my parents all weekend long, because that's just who he is. He's a good human being. So I'm very lucky.
I love him, man. He's just a great guy.
And my parents too. They're so supportive. My dad was self-employed my whole life, and so I never knew about getting it. I got a couple jobs, and I'm like, I cannot work for somebody. I cannot be told what to do. I worked for this one company. It was a glass manufacturer, and it was a union shop. And I remember I was going in there, and I was doing all this work, and I was self-taught on the computer. So I self-taught while I was there, and they said, you're doing too many jobs. And I'm like, well, there's jobs.
Done.
And they're like, you can only do 8 a day. You did 19 yesterday. And I said, okay, what am I supposed to do? They said, do 8 and then do nothing. So I sat there and learned, and I taught myself every software that I had. And I thought, are you kidding me? Like, you're wasting all of this time that I could be getting this done. So that didn't last very long. So I was not real good at people telling. One job I left, I screamed and left and walked out the door. So I'm like, nah, this is not the life for me. So my dad was, same. He had his own business our whole lives, and so it was hard. They went through some tough times, but they managed to get through it. And I just follow in trying to do better in my life to make them proud, and I hope that I have, and my sister's the same. But yeah.
Well, listen, this has been fantastic. I thank you so much, both of you, for joining
You're
us.
very
And
welcome.
we'll do a show with just you.
Come on, I'm going to sneak in. I'll sneak in. Don't tell me where it's at.
She knows where you record now.
2 places.
So thank you very much, guys. I appreciate
Appreciate
it.
it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, my friend.
Appreciate you.